Hello and welcome back with another edition of PanCake Friday. In today's news, the G7 donate another $50 billion to war. If that interests you, I'd suggest you stop listening because we will not be talking about any of that garbage. Today we have real interesting stuff to talk about. It's your host Derek Shirk and my co-host Neve Simmons. Neve, how you doing?
I'm doing so fantastic right now.
Wonderful. I want to start off by going on a rant, to be honest with you.
Okay, what's the rant?
So, I'm sorry, but if you listen to audiobooks, it is not considered reading. Do not call it reading. It is okay to listen to audiobooks. It is perfectly valid to listen to an audiobook and take in knowledge too, but do not call it reading. I am sick and tired of people saying, I've read, and then you find out they've listened to an audiobook while they did the dishes.
Well, but I have something to say to that actually, because for me, I always, when I talk about Julia, I say I gave birth. I didn't actually give birth. She was like evacuated from the sunroof. So, but I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think that. Like I still had a baby. You still took in the knowledge from the book, right?
Okay, so you can, but that's not reading. Reading is like looking at the pages and
I guess.
Okay, so like an example I would give you of, so is it cooking if you microwave a meal in the microwave, like a freezer meal?
No. Also, it's not cooking if you do a taco kit.
So you're gonna say that reading, even though if you're listening, that's reading. But you're gonna say if I make a taco kit, that's not cooking. I'm gonna also. I just. It's not that I'm like I think it's valid. Some people literally can't read, and some people just are way better at taking in knowledge if they hear it, which is fine. It's just I feel like it's such a cop out to be like, oh yeah, I've read this book, and then they listen to it, because I first off, it's just a different medium of how you take it in, period. Mm-hmm. It's not reading, but also I feel like it's a lot easier with an audiobook to be doing something else, therefore you're not taking in what's being said, especially if it's like 13 hours.
Yeah, I would disagree. I'd say you can still take in, but it is definitely not reading. Like, you have to read, you have to kind of like sit down and take the time, open the book, and
you have
look
to
at the
read.
page.
You have to read words. You can't just hear words. Because I've been talking to my clients about this, and most of them, just this all started for everyone's backstory. I was talking to one of my colleagues, and I told them I was like on this reading journey, and I was so proud, and they're like, oh yeah, I've read 30 books this year. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, you must read all the time. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's like basically all I do when I'm cleaning, I'm reading. Like if I'm going to the gym, I'm reading. And I was like, you read at the gym? Like what? And then it comes out that they're listening to audiobooks. Yeah. And like I'm like, you can't say you read 30 books.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah. That is very valid. And to be fair, I just thought like if someone released a new album and you're like, oh, have you heard this new album, but you've just read all the lyrics to the songs. It's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. That's another good example. I'm trying to think of some other ones that are out there that are good like that. But yeah, the point being, like...
oh, you could be like, oh, I've seen the Northern Lights, but you've just seen a picture of the Northern Lights.
Yeah. Or okay, so for example, I'm listening to this book right now about the Silk Road, and there's no way I could read that book. It's just, it's super interesting listening to it. It's super easy to understand. They're talking about all this, but if I had to read it, it's impossible. So it's, again, I'm not like hating it on it. I'm just like saying, stop telling people you're reading books.
Yeah, because you have to be super motivated to read as well, I find. Like, to pick back up a book, especially if you're not that interested in it. I had a really hard time. The last book I read, because I wanted to finish it, but it was just so not good.
Yeah. Which one
and
was that?
I'm gonna get hate for that, because that's like it's a classic, right? Wuthering Heights. It's meant to be like this crazy story, and I was just so bored by it. and nothing happened. Like, nothing happened in the book. There were no, like, events or anything. It was just kind of, I don't know, these people's lives, which I guess is what a story is, but it was just super boring for me, and it took me so long to finish.
Yeah, I find if a book takes you long, it must be a long, hard read. Okay, so next I want to get into something. Neve and I were sitting on the couch watching YouTube, and if you remember this, Simone Biles, the American gymnast.
Yeah, she was nuts.
Holy cow. I know very little about gymnastics at all, other than it's crazy. Nothing. But I know she's the best. Mm-hmm. Like, you just see her.
Well, it was the first day of the American qualifiers, and they were like, "Yeah, you're not going to see scores like this again." Like, well, way to shit on the other gymnasts.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, so like day one of the I don't even know. We should watch after this and see what ended up happening. But so Simone Biles is the most decorated gymnast of all time, I believe. For sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if of all time, but definitely at present.
Can you look that up and just see?
Yeah.
Because I know she has like 37 or 39 Olympic medals and world championships for sure. So she's definitely got a ton.
Oh yeah, she's for sure up there.
But the storyline with her was she was obviously the greatest, but she's now 27, which is absurd for gymnastics to be that age.
How old?
And she left at 25. From what I understand, she stopped doing gymnastics and was just like doing other stuff, and then decided she's gonna come back, and now she's crushing it. And so, to Neve's point, the very first thing they're all talking like, "Oh, it's Simone Biles' return to gymnastics at Team USA camp." First thing, she steps up, hits a score, and the judges just are all across the board like, "Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna see another score like this in the entirety of the whole competition."
So I can confirm she's the 9th of all time.
9th most decorated.
9th of all time, and tied with Shannon Miller for the most by a U.S. gymnast. Because if you think, they have the like Eastern European gymnasts,
right?
And the Chinese, the Chinese gymnasts, because they're like training their kids from young.
They're gymnasty.
I remember actually, I have this super vivid memory of when I was a kid and I went to Disney World. In Florida, and in Epcot, they had all these like 7-year-olds doing the craziest gymnastics.
Okay, I wish I could check this is true, but I'm pretty sure in China, whatever you get picked to play a sport.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, like Yao Ming, he's like 7'3". I mean, it's a given you're gonna pick the 7'3" like massive kid to. Well, he wasn't 7'3" as a kid, but like the massive kid to be. Imagine 4 years old, 7'3". Where's mom? He actually has 2 moms. She ripped in half.
Yeah, I was gonna say his mom got split in half.
But yeah, and so like, can you just imagine? I just picture it. They're like, to me, they'd be like, "Okay, Derek, you can do whatever," and I'd be like, "No, I'm playing soccer." And then they'd go, "Okay, you're not playing a sport," and I'd be like, "Fuck."
Imagine they picked you to do like interpretive dance. Derek has really good rhythm. It's not good at all. It's actually really bad.
Moving on. I do have pretty good rhythm.
It's okay, babe. You don't have to lie. You have other skills.
Okay,
like reading.
What I wanted to actually talk about with this gymnastics thing
Sorry.
it's okay. Is my favorite meme of all time is the one of the figure skater, and it's like 5 slides, and it's like the first 4 are of like a figure skater. She goes up, she's doing like a triple axel, and then she kind of falls a little, not even fully, she just like bends her knee. And it's like it's like, ooh, tough landing. And then there's a fat guy in the final frame, and he's sitting on the couch like, she fucking sucks. And I kind of felt like that's what it was like watching the judges rate some of the people. Like, they looked like they weren't gymnasts. And they were sitting there judging these girls that were doing like 9 backflips in a row, triple, all this crazy spins. And then they'd be like, that's a 6 out of 10. And I was like sitting there being like, I think you're jealous. That's right. I think you're giving her a low score. I think her score's a 10. You can't do that.
I get what you're saying, but also I feel like that's Olympic level competition. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. You're so good that the tiniest thing they have to fault you on. Because otherwise everyone would be an Olympic
But the
gymnast.
judges, I don't get that from the judges. I get they're petty and they're making it about them, to be totally honest with you. That's what I got from the highlights of watching Gymnastics America Day 1.
You're like, these damn judges.
I mean, like I said, I don't know a lot about the sport, but after watching that 15-minute clip of Simone Biles, I can assume a lot.
You are, in fact, an expert after 15 minutes of watching something on the internet.
I wouldn't say expert, but I'm up there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm close.
Oh, yeah. Top 10.
If you're an expert,
in the world.
No, I'm not an expert. But if you're not an expert, I know more than you, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, so anyhow, I'm not going to lie, that made me really excited for the Olympics, because you just forget, like, do I care about gymnastics? No. Do I care about sprinting? No. Or any of the Olympic sports, truly? No. But then when they come on and you actually see the people doing them, it's really sweet to see. Like, it's just pure athletics.
I can't even do a cartwheel, so seeing what these people can do is insane. Like, obviously they've, trained and put a lot of work in and everything, and I haven't even put, one day into trying to learn to cartwheel. But okay, stay tuned and we'll give you progress updates on my learning to cartwheel.
Are you going to learn to cartwheel?
I want to learn to cartwheel, but I only have the nerve to do it when I'm drunk.
Why would... I mean, it's not that hard to cartwheel at all.
No, I don't... Yeah, but I think it's, like, the fear. It gets me, like, the fear of cartwheeling.
Can you get hurt cartwheeling?
I feel like you can... Yeah, you can definitely get hurt cartwheeling. How? Like, if you, like, fall on your head. I don't know. I
don't know. I can cartwheel, so I just don't. I can do handsprings, so I basically am an American gymnast now. Now that I'm talking about it, I actually...
Maybe you should try and go for the qualifiers in Canada.
So I forgot to... This is actually what we talked about on our podcast, the 3-person circle. We're going to do a regular man Olympics, and I'll do some gymnastics there.
You know what you should do?
High-level gymnastics. High-level amateur gymnastics.
On the regular man Olympics, you should do grilling. Grilling should be part of it. You'd be... No, I think you'd score high for grilling. Babe.
Yeah, absolutely. But
yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely. But, excuse me, the regular man Olympics is we're going to see what the records everyone gets in, like, the 100-meter dash. And then we're going to race it. And it'll be like the 100-meter dash is under like 9 seconds finish. And we'll be like 14, 15 seconds. And you can be like, you guys suck. But what if we beat the Olympic times?
That will just not happen.
Can you imagine? It's like, turns out Gabe can run 100 meters in like
faster
6
than
seconds.
Usain Bolt.
You're 3 seconds faster than Usain Bolt? Yeah.
3 seconds faster. I'm pretty sure his record's like 4 seconds.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
The 100 meters, it's like 9 seconds and something. It's not 4 seconds.
I don't know. Usain Bolt's pretty fast.
That would be ridiculously fast. Okay. So I feel like we've talked. I honestly, I've been thinking about that Olympic trials thing for quite a while now. That's been one of the highlights.
Since we watched it?
Yeah, on Tuesday. Okay, I thought I'd just kind of go over Father's Day weekend because it was a fun weekend.
Yeah. Just to clarify, we had Father's Weekend, or Father's Day a week early because Derek's going away this weekend.
I'm Derek.
So he's not actually going to be with us on Father's Day. So we did it last weekend, and it's also his first Father's Day, so...
I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm very upset about it. I didn't choose this for myself or my family. Elliot did.
Shout out to Elliot, the ruiner of dreams.
I just think Elliot, you're a wild cat at the least wild of times. So that's all I got to say about you. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Neve got my thing for the summer. For people that don't know, I don't want to say I'm a grill master because I'm not a master, but I love grilling.
You're the grill boy.
I'm a grill boy. I shout out to my friends that are smokers. They're great at it.
Smoking meat, that
Smoking
is.
Meat, yeah.
Not drugs.
Or, yeah.
Or...
we'll show you guys out too. We'll show everyone out. If you're smoking crack and you're my friend, please stop. We do not condone crack. Yeah, so I that's been my goal, is to make a smash burger, because last 2 years has been using charcoal barbecue.
I hate the charcoal barbecue.
Yeah, we can do a whole freaking episode on the charcoal grilling. But so I'm trying to perfect a smash burger, and Neve got me a nice brand new grilling kit with a smash press and a, what's it called?
Like the griddle. Yeah, the griddle
flat top for it. So we went out on the Barbie, and I made us 6 burgers.
You mean Juliet got you this, by the way?
Oh yeah, Juliet.
Yeah.
It's crazy what a baby can buy with
her mom's credit card.
Yeah, so we went out and did the burgers. I first off, I'm just gonna say, if you want to impress people very easily, go buy some beef, go buy some pork, mix them together 50-50, throw some sauce in there, or throw some spices in there. Always Worcestershire. Did I put an egg in?
I think you put an egg in.
I put an egg in. Onion powder, garlic powder, a little cayenne pepper, and Worcestershire. Shit ton of Worcestershire. Salt and pepper, of course. And you mix that together, and I guarantee you everyone's gonna go nuts for your burgers. It's actually crazy how good they are.
Yeah, they are really good.
Anyhow, and so I smashed those out, and the burger I'm perfecting right now is the barbecue burger. And so what a barbecue burger is, it's the nice smashed patty, and then you have fried onions. Is it fried or grilled? Like, it's fried, right? Like in the pan fried.
Those are fried onions.
Pan fried onions, and then once they're like caramelized, you put them on the burger patty, barbecue sauce, bacon, and then provolone cheese on top as a little dome for it to make it nice and juicy in there.
Domey dome.
And that is my barbecue burger, and I don't think I've perfected it yet, but it's a fucking fine burger. For anyone, any listeners of the pod, I will gladly make you that burger. But you have to accept as is. I will not...
no substitutions.
No substitutions. If you're allergic, get over yourself.
Yeah, grow up.
Through the pain. Eat through the anaphylaxis.
Yeah, grow up. Adults don't have allergies. If you have an allergy at this age, then I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah.
Get a life.
Sort yourself out. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels this way about allergies. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of allergies. You know what? If you have allergies, meet them head on. Go.
It's so funny because
go breathe them in.
I'm also super allergic to the sun.
Yeah, you want to talk to people about that?
Yeah, it's not even like an allergy where you just like avoid something. Like if I go out in the sun, I'm just gonna have an allergic reaction.
So what does that look like?
I get like you've seen it. My skin goes like super red, and I get super itchy hives, and there's like nothing I can really do. Even if I wear sunscreen or anything, it's just the sun. It's the sun rays. It's not heat. It's the actual sun.
I mean, you could wear an umbrella everywhere.
No, but this is the thing. I also want a tan, so I just kind of put up with it. And then in the evening, after I've been in the sun, I'm like, "Why the fuck was I in the sun all day?" And then the next day I have a tan. I'm like, "Oh, that's why."
That's right. Yeah, and so if you ever want to troll Neve, push her into the sun, and she'll go into anaphylaxis.
Yeah, I'll just go up in flames like a vampire.
So yeah, I made the burgers, which are great. Oh, I got my... Do you want to tell the story of this dada?
Oh my god. Okay, so just after Juliet was born, probably like a month after she was born, I ordered these sweaters for Derek and I. And they're super cute, and they're really well made. And they say, Dad's... Awkward. Derek says Dada and mine says Mama, but the letters are made out of the onesies we had when she was a newborn. So they're super sentimental. You send off her newborn onesies, and then this woman like cuts out the letters and sews them all together, and they're so cute. But they took I ordered them in November and they arrived last week. So it took like a whole, and I get it if you're like an individual that's running a business and you're doing it all by yourself, like, so I was understanding, but also at the same time I was like, run your business better, you know, like, I don't know. And I just kept getting this like same generic email every time I emailed, and whatever. That was a whole ordeal, but they've arrived now and they're super freaking cute, and they arrived in time for our Father's Day weekend, so that was awesome.
So I got that.
I also made you cookies.
Yeah, the cookies were freaking good. I love sugar cookies. And then I'm trying to think. So that was Friday.
And we went to the farm.
Oh yeah, the farm. The freaking Juliet was so freaking cute at the farm. She saw like horses. Like, I don't know. Juliet still laughs when she sees our dog because she's just like, she still can't really lock on to what Nuo is. She knows it's our dog, but she doesn't like really know. And then out of nowhere, we go from that to like chickens, pigs, horses, mini ponies, a donkey. There was, what was the goat called? They're called like the Grumbly Goat Gang.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I kept laughing at it. They're called the Grumbly Goat Gang or like something like that. But it's Goat Gang, and they all it says all over the place when you're walking. It's like, if you want to check out the Goat Gang,
go behind the
farm. Yeah. And you get there, and sure enough, it's a gang.
Yeah.
Like the way they do, like they're all chilling. Some of them were nice. Some of them were ramming heads and acting greasy. There was the like father.
The goats loved me. I feel like I had like goat attraction perfume or something on, because they were like all coming up and wanting to get a sniff of me.
Yeah, that was. I noticed that. Yeah. It's
the pheromones.
Right. I always. I'm not gonna say anything. But we all were thinking. Yeah, that's for me. One of my biggest prides is when animals like you a lot. Like, I'd rather an animal like me. If a person likes me, you're like, all right, I guess whatever. You could go by yourself. I don't care. But then an animal's like, chirp, chirp. Well, next time, I hate birds. Chirp. Sorry, Roger, but I hate birds. Yeah, so we went to the farm, and then I'm trying to think. Saturday night, was that?
No, because remember we were gonna grill on Friday, and then we didn't, so we grilled on Saturday.
That was Saturday, yeah, because Friday we did the other podcast. Yeah. So then what was Saturday?
And Sunday was your soccer game. Oh, and we grilled after that as well.
Yeah, we double grilled that soccer game.
Double grill.
Oh man, that soccer. Our summer. There's a few of the boys are gonna be listening to this, like Jacob and Johnny and Joach and Whittle. I don't know if Whittle does, but like if you guys hear this. Man, our summer league team is it's a rough go. I mean, Jamie's there; he's good. I think we'll be good. Now I'm back. There's a few other people that are like all just coming back, so I think we're gonna have actually a decent team. But there's definitely a lot of duffers that aren't. It's pretty much the non-wilderness people are just duffs.
I mean, I can't comment because I love you, but I was not really watching the game because our baby was playing Escape Artist from the shelter because it was hot. So I was trying to keep her in the shade, and she just did not want to be in the shade, so I was kind of like chasing her around for the majority of the time.
Oh, excuse me. We're drinking ciders tonight. Last time was wine. Tonight ciders.
Yeah.
So that was Father's Day weekend. Okay, so here's something I thought was really fucked up. Okay, and I didn't tell you this yesterday.
Okay.
So you know Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
What do you know about Kevin Spacey?
Isn't he, he's either like a little bit rapey or a little bit like touch kidsy.
Right, yeah, so you know about that.
Yeah.
Right, okay, now do you know about Weinstein?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know about Weinstein.
Like the perv, it's not Epstein. Epstein's the
guy that had the island full of kids.
Yeah, okay, Weinstein is the...
Harvey Weinstein.
He's the perv producer guy.
Yeah.
So, did you know that Kevin Spacey was acquitted of all charges?
I did not.
Yeah, the reason I found out was one of my favorite podcasters is Lex Friedman, and he always has like tons of. I would highly recommend listening to Lex Friedman. One of his big things is he literally will interview anyone. So sometimes he takes heat for taking on controversial people, like I'm trying to think of but like he's done a few controversial ones. Like he right at the heat of the Israel-Palestine conflict opening up, he was going back and forth Israeli Jew, Palestinian, like everything, like all the like hot from each side were all getting interviewed, and so people don't like him because of that. but he just had Kevin Spacey on, and I'm listening to it, and it's so weird. I haven't got to the part about Spacey talking about any of that, but I know Lex gets into it.
Yeah.
But he gets acquitted of all charges. And I thought that was crazy because it's, to me, I'm going to assume it's some dumb legal flaw.
I mean, well, also, if you're that rich, like, how many people are just getting paid off?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Or there's some, like, legal system thing where, like, something like that. But I was shocked that he was acquitted. But that led into Harvey Weinstein has also now been acquitted of all charges.
Really?
And now get this. This is, I don't know Kevin Spacey's. That, like, there is a potential that Kevin Spacey actually had the whole, like, cried wolf and kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not saying, but that's possible. With Weinstein, he 100% was guilty of all that stuff.
Yeah.
But guess why he's got acquitted of it all?
Why?
Because all the stuff that, so as you know, it's not there's no such thing as illegal. It's just if it's illegal proven in like the court of law or guilty in the court of law, right? So what he used for his legal defense is the women were talking, and there was so much talk of Weinstein being spread everywhere, and that's how that's I think how he actually got taken to trial, was that public outrage of it all made it that they had to do all this stuff.
Yeah, no one actually went and pressed charges.
But no,
individually, or did they?
No, they did. Oh. But then when he was in court, what they argued was he had like there was no proof in what was presented that he did this stuff, but everyone from the outside was hearing all this stuff from like the public court of public opinion, that it skewed their judgment of what was on trial to be persecuted. So he's been acquitted of all charges.
I think that's it's such a sensitive subject. But when it comes to stuff like sexual assault, like rape, it's really difficult to actually prosecute someone, because what kind of evidence can you gather unless you're that one person that, you know, gets assaulted, and even like on the level of assault, unless you've been like quote unquote forcefully raped, there's not going to be any real like physical evidence on you. It's your word versus theirs. And as much as I believe that you should believe women, for our justice system to work, you have to be innocent until proven guilty. That's how justice works, you know? So it's really hard in those kind of cases, even if it's multiple allegations. You go in and a jury is meant to be completely unbiased and be like, you have to believe that without a shadow of a doubt, or within reason of doubt, or whatever the phrase is, you have to truly believe, based on the evidence, that person is 100% guilty. And I only know this because I've been on jury duty. So
you've been on jury duty.
Well, it's funny because
God, I would not want you as the person judging me.
Get lost. I got my jury summons when I was still living in England. And I basically went and sat in a room for 2 weeks. I went into 3 separate court cases and didn't get selected, because 14 of you go in and 12 are picked. And 3 times I went in and 3 times I wasn't picked. Wow. And I'm convinced they didn't pick me because they couldn't pronounce my name. Because they do it in front of everyone. But yeah, I just sat in a room for 2 weeks.
Connor told me, I'll have to double check to make sure, but Connor went in for jury duty, and he said that it was like he didn't want to work, and so like people were saying things like this, like they'd go in and they'd be like, yeah, I don't know, I don't like how the Chinese guys look sitting, and then because you say that, you're clearly like, just by saying the Chinese guy, it makes it seem like you're pretty biased because you're like racist or something.
I never got to that point.
But Connor said, I want to make sure, I'm gonna go ask him before I tell the full story, but I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say everyone was being severely racist, but people were doing things like that where they'd like make it very obvious. They'd be like, yeah, I don't know, like, I think it's not too bad to steal. Like, they make such obvious things to get under jury duty. Anyhow, I'll save that for another day. That's hilarious that happened to you. But I don't think you want to be on jury duty.
No, well, I wouldn't mind being on jury duty, but the thing is, like, you go in and you watch this, you have to do, like, an orientation, right? So you watch this whole, like, video on how you need to act and what you need to do as a juror.
Yeah.
And you have to be, like, super responsible, basically, because you're dealing with the justice system, and the justice system is a super important thing.
Sorry, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you're not.
No, I was trying to fix the game there. Sorry, mine was just. See, I can't figure that out. Anyhow, yeah. So that's fucked up about Spacey, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a thing for you right now. This is something I watched this challenge, and it was a guy eating the most McNuggets in an hour. Do you want to take a guess at how many that is?
I don't know, like 100.
250.
That's, like, disgusting.
Yeah, I know, and I'm just picturing when Dax did it. Dax did 40 in like 14 minutes and 59 seconds, just for viewers to know. And I think Dax thinks he can do 100 for sure in an hour. He might be able to do 150, so we are gonna get that up. We're hoping to get video for you all of that, so you'll be able to watch the podcast as well. But that's at a later date. So anyhow, he gets these McNuggets delivered to him with no sauce.
The guy
on this thing,
right?
And it made me. And he goes, "I've got a hell of a sauce." And he like looks back. You could tell he was genuinely proud. It wasn't like
he has like a collection
of sauces, and it was all in his fridge. It was basically his whole door was like 15 or 20 different sauces. And then it got me thinking of how much I love my sauces. Like, I could tell he was super jacked up on the sauces.
I feel like it's a guy thing, especially a single guy thing, because all that single guys have in their fridge, and this, don't look at me like that, because when I met you, you're exactly the same. All they have in the fridge are sauces and drinks. Any kind of drinks, not just like alcoholic drinks, like Gatorade, bubblies, like whatever. But it's just sauces and drinks. And I'm like, do you even feed yourself? And obviously not. So
what's in your fridge?
Food to cook.
Like what?
Like at the moment, I've got lettuce, I've got cucumber, I've got carrots.
And what do you put on them?
What do you mean, what do I put on them?
Sauce.
I don't put sauce. Sauce on my... Well, if you're making a salad, you'd put a dressing.
Okay, so is there a difference between a dressing and a sauce?
Yeah.
Could you turn a sauce into a dressing by putting it on salad? Like, if I put ketchup on a salad, is it a
Well, I'll tell you what, in England, we have salad cream, which is really freaking good, which is a sauce, and you put it on salad. And it's kind of like a tangy mayo. And it's really, really good. You can't get it here, I don't think.
Okay, so this is, I guess honestly, you kind of answered the question a bit.
What?
Well, I was going to say, what is your sauce collection? Everyone has one. So I'll go first because you hate sauce.
I love sauce.
Oh,
I wasn't talking shit on sauce. I was just saying I was talking shit on single guys.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And their fridges.
I don't care about the shit talking with single dudes. It's not my issue. I thought you were sitting there talking about.
No, I won't order from a pizza place unless they have dips. Ooh, sauce versus dips. Versus dressing.
Sauce and dips are the same thing. Sauce is just dip in a little tray, a little cup. That's a dip, but it's also just sauce, but in a different.
Yeah, true.
Where sauce is like a bottle or a bowl.
So there is a difference.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out here. Can you just talk for a second?
I think it's fine. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, folks. I'm still working on audio, but we are getting better every day.
Just stop watching.
Yeah. I want to say to everyone, again, thank you for all the comments on the audio. It's actually been very helpful and useful stuff, so please keep them coming in, and we are getting better.
We're in the learning phase, though, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, we've recorded with 2 mics when we had the 4 of us doing the hockey, and it worked pretty well, but this is the first time we're doing 2 mics, 2 people, so I'll be interested to see how much crisper it is, because I think this is the closest we've had mics to individuals' mouths the whole time. Yeah.
I hope you can hear the spit.
Oh, some ASMR?
ASMR.
Here, I'm going to do some Nuo.
It's just her tail wagging.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was Neve the Blue Healer. Follow her Instagram page because she's the only one with social media in the family.
She is actually, yeah.
Nuo_ the Blue Healer.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to start with your sauces? Because I'm gonna, let's just say like top 5 or 6 sauces.
Top 5 or 6 sauces. Okay. Number 1 for me is and it has to be the Domino's garlic dip.
Okay.
I think even the Canadian garlic dip is not the same as the Domino's garlic dip in England. And in England, you can they call it the big dip, and it's like half a bucket.
Oh,
like a small bucket, but it's a big sauce. And I always used to get that when I was at university. I'd get a pizza and a big garlic dip. Love garlic dip with my pizza, but that's the only time I really eat it.
Yeah, I don't really. I guess if it's on a sandwich
or like a doner or something.
Yeah.
But
God, I love garlic.
Yeah, that would be number 1. Number 2, Chick-fil-A.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
It's so freaking good. The Chick-fil-A sauce is just, it's like heavenly. But again, I'll only really eat that with fried chicken. 3, I like a chipotle mayo.
Yep. Who doesn't?
Chipotle aioli. 4, controversial one, raita.
Isn't that curdled milk?
No, it's like yogurt and cucumber.
Oh, raita.
And you get it raita. Raita.
Let's go.
And you get it from like the Indian. You dip your poppadoms in, and it's really freaking good.
Yeah.
And 5, you can't get this in Canada, or I haven't seen it in Canada, but in England, I used to have this snack all the time, and it would be chicken flavored crisps, chicken flavored sensations crisps.
Okay.
In particular, and cheese and chive dip. And it was really freaking good.
Sounds really good.
I think I gave you some of that when you came to England with me.
I think we got that.
Yeah, it's just delicious.
Nice. That's a great list.
Thank you.
Yeah, for myself, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put number 1 overall is peanut satay sauce, but it's a very specific one. It's just so good. I literally could just make noodles in that peanut sauce and eat it for my whole life. So that one's good. Mississippi honey mustard.
Oh, yeah.
Or for anyone from North Vancouver, the Andrea's honey mustard. Yeah. They're one and the same. If you're sitting there going, oh, I love Andrea's honey mustard, where can I get it? It's Mississippi's, and it's in the cold section, usually near the
eggs,
sausages and eggs and everything. And Save-On, I believe, is where it's at. So you're welcome.
We get ours from Safeway.
They
have it at Safeway.
Okay, there you go. It's everywhere. But yeah, that's actually one of those sauces. When you tell people, they get pissed. They're like, I've been living my whole life
and not having that sauce.
I could have got this sauce without going to Andrea's.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then there's just a spiral. Their life just goes down.
Also, while we're on the subject, shout out to Andrea's.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. If it's 2 a.m. or no, if it's 1:37 and you are looking for pizza
and alcohol. They serve alcohol until late.
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
But there is always cops in there, and there's always cops in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. And if you're going, what does that mean? Don't worry, you don't need to know. If you know what that means, yeah. Yeah, so then a chipotle sauce, another classic, like that's an easy choice. But I'd have to say for me, number one chipotle sauce is from White Spot. The chip mayo.
Oh, with the yam fries? Yeah, bussin'.
Yeah, so that's up there. And then, I don't know, it's such a hard thing, like, is mayonnaise even a sauce? I'd consider mayonnaise its own...
Mayonnaise is for sure a sauce.
What are you doing there?
I'm plugging this in.
Mayonnaise, I think mayonnaise is more than a sauce. I think it's just like you...
Mayonnaise is a lifestyle.
Well, is olive oil a sauce?
No, it's an oil.
I'd argue mayonnaise is closer to olive oil than it is a dipping sauce.
No.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not true.
It's a staple.
When do you ever, like, cook with mayonnaise? Olive oil I use so much when you're, like, cooking and doing stuff.
Okay, we're going to put a poll up. And the poll is mayonnaise closer to olive oil or ketchup?
100% closer to ketchup. I dip my fries in mayonnaise.
I dip my fries in olive oil.
When you cook your fries in olive oil and then you take them out and dip them in mayo.
Okay, now we're just getting all technical with what's dipping.
Okay. New poll: should we fill a deep fat fryer full of mayonnaise and just cook fries in that? Answer in the comments.
I think you're right. You're a genius. Okay, so yeah, then I'm gonna put mayonnaise in there. Although I would argue it's ridiculous that mayonnaise is in the condiment battle because it's more than a condiment. At bare minimum, it's sandwich glue, meaning like the fabric that holds together all sandwich.
Mayonnaise is just fantastic. Like I would literally take a bath in mayonnaise. No, I wouldn't. That's a lie.
And
but it is really good.
Here's a crazy one for me. I'm torn if I put Chick-fil-A on there because it's so good. But I've literally only had that one bottle you bought of it. I've never even been to Chick-fil-A. And quite frankly, at this point, it's actually part of my personality. Like,
never having been to Chick-fil-A.
Like when I meet people and they're like, oh, so what do you like to do? And I'm like, oh, I've never been to Chick-fil-A.
The first time I went to Chick-fil-A was last year when my friends drove into Seattle and we went to Chick-fil-A. I'd never really thought of it, but what
do you think of it?
I think it's really freaking good. I think it's really, really freaking good, but I didn't know it was called Chick-fil-A because...
So what do you think it was called?
Chick-fil-A. And I went into Chick-fil-A and they were like, what sauce do you want? And I was like, the Chick-fil-A. And they were like, Chick-fil-A. I was like, oh, yeah.
But Chick-fil-A makes more sense.
Well, to English speakers, yeah. But I feel like it's...
What are Americans?
English speakers.
So why do they call it Chick-fil-A?
Because I'm...
Like, shouldn't it be Chick-fil, Phila?
No, because...
Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. I feel like there's an accent or a hyphen or something in there that makes it the way it is. I don't know.
Our American viewers, Tep.
Our
can
one
you fill
American
us in
viewer.
why on that? I don't understand. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand that now that I think of it out loud. But again, I'm not a wordsmith.
It's like a fillet. It's like the same as like a McDonald's fish fillet.
I'm gonna put Chick-fil-A on there, and let's go. I'm sorry, I don't want to like not answer what you're talking about there. I think we should transition into how good is the fish fillet.
I love a fish fillet.
Mm-hmm,
I went through like a solid phase in university where every time I went to McDonald's I would get a fish fillet.
I'm not gonna lie and say like, oh, the fish fillet is the best. I love it, but you'll catch me eating a fish fillet.
Yeah. And
every time I'm like, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go back to those dirty, stinking McNuggets.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I had McDonald's, to be fair.
I get McDonald's every day of the week for work, but I only get coffee. I generally don't eat the McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're always so confused because this is actually so sad. Gurpreet from McDonald's, if you hear this podcast, I'm giving you a shout out. It was so sad. So I go into McDonald's and it's like It's
it's fine.
it's like it's Filipino and Indian women working there, right? And they're all so nice, like so freaking nice. And like from the moment I started going there, since I've moved in with you, they've always just been really kind to me. And like,
is it the one down at Westview?
Yeah, yeah. And they're always like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And good to see you. And they know about Juliet, and I've shown them pictures and that.
Yeah, actually, you build a relationship with that. That's actually quite cute.
I do that honestly anywhere I go. Often I always end up just talking to the people a bit.
Yeah,
and
that's true. Yeah,
and I but I thought it was so sad because they've basically remembered my order now. I went from a large regular to one day I do a 12-hour Thursday, and at the end of the day, or I get up for it and I'm getting my large, and then this dude behind me, "I'll take an extra large." And I was like, "What? Are you allowed to do that?" She's like, "Yeah, it's a size." I was like, "Are you sure? Are you serious?"
You're just fucking with me right now.
She the whole time is just normally doing her job like, "Yes, sir." And I'm like, "This is whack. This is nuts." And so I get it. So it's $2.20 for a regular extra large or extra large regular coffee. Mm-hmm. Regular being the single cream sugar. And the woman though, she remembers it now. Like they know every time I walk in, and they always offer me food. And like I don't eat your guys' breakfast. Like, and they're like, "Oh, you're healthy." And I'm like, "No, I just don't eat breakfast ever."
Yeah.
And but anyhow, I was like, "Oh, that's so nice. You guys remember my order. That's crazy." And then she's like, "Yeah, honestly, we basically know every single person's order that comes in here regularly in the morning now." And I was like, "I believe it." And then I was like, "Oh, cool." And then she's like, I was like, "That's really cool that you do that." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like we all remember everything about everyone, and they all come in here and are nice, and then we see them in the street, and I'll be like, 'Hey,' to the exact same person, and they literally just don't even acknowledge my existence." And I was like, "Oh, that's sad." But I was telling her, I was like, I feel like people, like, it's not like a thing of people being mean.
No,
I think
not at all.
people, and I actually encourage you listeners to do this, and I think it's actually like a weird hard thing to do, but it's like very productive just for everyone around you, is like look people in the eyes when you say thank you, or like stuff like that when you're interacting. You don't even have to say thank you, just like let's say you're ordering a coffee, actually look at them and order your coffee. And it doesn't have to be this like intimate interaction where we locked eyes and it was like this crazy chemistry. It's just like by looking at someone, you acknowledge their existence.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think there's a large group of people that might go through their lives and it's like they've not looked someone in the face eye to eye or like face to face in like weeks. But you never would know it.
Yeah.
Because you think you are, right? Like I said, I don't think it's a thing of like people being assholes or like fuck you. I think it's just kind of like everyone's in their own head all the time. They're always doing stuff, and it's actually something that I genuinely believe. Like I purposefully do that. The reason that I always say good morning to the ladies at McDonald's when I go in there and say, "Oh, how are you doing?" It's like, do I really care? Like, do I really want to get to know Gurpreet? No. Yeah. But she doesn't want to get to know me either. It's like kind of one of those things like
human interaction.
And it makes other people feel good, and it's such a small thing. You don't even have to actually care. You just kind of pretend, and they're not stupid. They're not gonna like fall in love and be like, "Wow, that one person said how was your day?" and looked at me, right? But yeah. So I just thought that was.
I feel like that's very your personality, though. You've always been like a super personable person that can kind of get on with anyone and everyone, and I think that's part of your charm.
Oh, thank you.
I, on the other hand, not like that at all. Do you remember when we went to London?
Yeah. Of course I do.
So Derek is a very personable person, and he can have a conversation with anyone and everyone. And he will have a conversation with anyone and everyone.
Not in London.
but not in London. So I took him to London for the first time. And we're sat at... Where was it? It was Bubba Gump Shrimp in Oxford. Not Oxford Street.
I thought it was Leicester, like right outside Leicester Square.
Yeah, Leicester Square. in Bubblegum Shrimp just before going to see Book of Mormon, and we order our food, and Derek just goes to the waiter, and the waiter like takes our order, and then Derek just tries to start up a conversation. He goes, "Yeah, I'm here from Canada," and this waiter looked at him with like so much disdain, and then just goes and walks away. Like he doesn't even say anything, just kind of looks and then walks away. And I'm like, Derek, like, don't take it to heart. It's just English people in general are super reserved. Like, nobody is kind of looking for conversation. It's very stiff upper lip. It's very like,
London
no one
is.
Yeah, London is. People are friendly in England, but in London, people are on their grind. They're doing their business, and they don't want to stray from that kind of thing.
I had no, I can't tell this on air. I'll tell you after. I can't tell this on air. It's too personal for someone to say on air. But it's a funny story that just reminded me of that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt like it's. I felt like I get it. Like I get, like, I talk to people a lot, but I don't know. The dude looked so miserable. Like, he looked like he was just like, picture this dude just standing there, and you're like, hey, and they're just like, what do you want to drink? And I don't know.
I think it's worth mentioning that English tipping culture, people don't. So they don't feel the need to go that like extra mile to be nice to you. They're just like,
well, everyone outside of London, I thought, was very approachable and nice for the most part. It was just London. And even then, I mean, we didn't interact with too many people. I'm sure there was some nice people there. If you actually,
we were very rushed on that trip.
I do think my favorite was we're in Liverpool, and so English slang is a lot different than Canadian slang.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, the peace sign. If you do, I'm gonna like walk you through this. So the peace sign, if you have like the palm of your hand out and you do the peace sign, so like,
yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. That's like peace, like peace, love. But if you do it so that the palm of your hand is facing you, so like the back of your hand out, and then you like do it in front of you, like, I guess not under, like in front, just anywhere. It's fuck you.
Yeah.
But that's also how I say to when I order stuff.
Yeah, it's how a lot of like even other Europeans and like and Americans will come to England and they'll say to like that. And in England, if you do that to someone, you're swearing at them, basically.
You're slagging them off or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I have this.
We're at the hotel,
and it's like this bar, and we just got back from the Liverpool game match, and I was all hyped because I was like, oh my god, Liverpool, blah blah blah, everyone's drinking, it's all the Scousers, like, it was mad in there. And so I go up to the bar, and I just like write to the bartender, I'm like, 2 drinks, and she just like literally stopped what she was doing and just stared at me.
I caught it though. I was like, I'm like, I'm so sorry, he's Canadian. He doesn't understand.
In what world do you come up and hold 2 fingers up and the person at a bar and the person's like, is this person trying to tell me to fuck myself?
Well, it's England, so it could be.
Fair. Yeah, I'm excited to go back to England. We'll get there for next year, I guess, right?
Yeah, I want to go in next November because of Carnival, which is it's a very Somerset thing, which is where I'm from, and it's just incredible. If you're interested in seeing, type in Bridgewater Carnival into YouTube, and it's crazy.
Also, type in the Tor, Tor, in Glastonbury, and it's like probably one of my favorite things of all time, to be honest with you. I think it's so
pretty cool, huh?
If you go into Somerset, picture English rolling hills, like farmland, right? Like, you see, as far as the eye can see, just rolling hills. And then there's randomly a pyre, like a mountain. It's
so big, yeah.
But it's not like a mountain like here where it's kind of like rises up. It's like literally almost looks like a like giant penis, like erect, like not a penis, but like a giant erection out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then on top of that is what's it called? Not a castle, a turret, like a giant circular turret that's so high, and when you're on top of the hill, you can see, I'm pretty sure it said you can see like 19 and a half miles.
Oh, you can see so far.
26 and a half miles is, you can see the curve of the earth if you can see that far. But so anyhow, you it's so high and no one knows where it came from.
No.
There's, in the 13th century, it just started appearing in text. No one was saying like, oh, this person built it, this person did this. It's just all of a sudden starts talking about all these people that, and then that like it appeared in history. And then to top that off, where is this? This is next to Glastonbury. Glastonbury is like King Arthur's court. Literally, Glastonbury Abbey, 15 minutes from where Neve lives, is where King Arthur's body's buried. And it's like this old broken down castle abbey. Like it's insane.
There's so much history in that kind of like neck of the woods as well. There's King Alfred.
King Alfred
used to live there somewhere.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know, and at Borough Mump, which we didn't go to because it's just like some random back road, but there's another big hill with a turret on top and it's burnt down, and I don't know why this is the story, but it basically set ablaze and it got destroyed, and the reasoning behind that was King Alfred burnt the cakes. And that's what everyone says, oh, Borough Mump is where King Alfred burnt the cakes, because apparently King Alfred was like throwing a party and the cakes were burnt and it set the whole thing on fire and it got destroyed. So that's Borough Mump.
We have
so much random history.
Yeah, that's such a crazy. There's so many things I wanted to ask, and the story just kept making me want to ask more questions. How big was the cake? Was it a lot of cakes? Did he cook the cakes, or was it someone else's cakes and he got blamed for it because he's the king?
Yeah, I imagine the king didn't cook his own cakes, but
did he, and that's why they burnt?
Oh, maybe.
Because like they're like, the king shouldn't cook the cakes.
The king stumbles home at like 3 a.m. after all the meat, and he's like, I want to make some cakes, and then he just like passes out and forgets they're in the oven.
Oh, King Henry.
King Alfred.
King Alfred. Yeah, so King Alfred, for those of you that have watched The Last Kingdom or Vikings, King Alfred is like, I'm pretty sure he's the first king of England. No?
I'm
trying to remember what he is. He's something. If he's not the first king of England, he's like in the history of England when they first start. He like was one to unify them or something like that. But he always would have these things where he'd disappear and he'd be like this illness and no one knew what it was, and it was like severe, just what basically people would think he's dead and then he'd revive, and it turns out he had Crohn's disease, but no one knew what Crohn's was.
Classic Crohn's.
Classic Crohn's. Okay, now let's see here. We might have to, we're gonna keep going until Gabe gets here, but we might have to wrap up. Unfortunately, one of friends of the show, Gabe, I guess just friend, I shouldn't just say friend of the show, his grandmother passed away today, so maybe we'll give a few seconds of silence for Gabe's grandma. She was honestly such a sweet grandma to all of us, so it is sad to hear her go. So Gabe's granny, we'll just give you a moment's silence. All right, and thanks for that, guys. That was nice for Mrs. Zip. We love you, Gabe, and of course, if you need anyone, we're here.
Love you, Gabe.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got cooking up here. Oh, here's one I thought was. I don't want to say it's hilarious. It's not funny, but I do find it kind of funny, I guess.
Well, tell me what it is first before I judge you.
So, I read. This is an article from. What's it called? National Geographic, and this is what it says: women are being diagnosed with ADHD at an unprecedented rate. Here's why: women and girls with attention deficit disorder, hyperactive disorder, have historically been misdiagnosed. Is the world finally catching up? So here's why I laugh at that. Okay, it's not that women have ADHD.
Dumbass women with your ADHD.
Yeah, you women. No, I laugh because I just think
okay, maybe women were just not looked at for ADHD, because I read the full article and it said things like it doesn't present the same in women as men, things like that. So if you're looking for a man with ADHD, like if you diagnose a man as ADHD and then you look for it in women, you're probably not going to find the same things. Not that you can't, it's just like they are different. So I think that's fair. And then the underdiagnosis because of that, I'm like, okay, but the whole thing I felt like this article just negated was, like I've said to you many times, the way our life is now, the screens are hyper ADHD for everyone. And if you had slight ADHD, you have it bad now. If you had it bad, I don't even want to know. If you didn't have it, you might have it. And it's all based on like distraction levels now. So it's like, maybe, again, I don't want to say like, oh, that's such bullshit, women weren't diagnosed. Sure, but there's also just like this huge thing of everything we do now is in the bane of distraction. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at stuff like TikTok, the dopamine you get from watching or like social media is the same as the dopamine you get from any addiction, from caffeine, from cigarettes, from drugs, and especially with stuff like TikTok, where it's like every so many minutes it just refreshes and it's something new. It's like, of course you're gonna sit there when I had it, and I'm like not gonna pretend that I don't periodically get TikTok back, because I do. I've just deleted it off my phone again like 2 days ago, because it's just that like, oh, I've got nothing to do for 5 minutes, I just scroll through TikTok, but then it's 2 hours later. And it's like, what? Like, how did I waste so much time? Because it doesn't feel like it's that long, because everything's refreshing and it's a different subject after 60 seconds, you know? I do enjoy my ASMR on it. That's one thing I absolutely love, that I will watch before I go to bed, because it really relaxes me. But I can understand why people don't have the same attention spans that they used to have. I don't necessarily think that like everyone has like ADD, ADHD, but I think it's definitely more prevalent in the kind of lifestyle we live now. And I do agree that it presents differently in women, and obviously I'm not a doctor, but in my personal opinion, it's something to do with the maturity levels of girls and boys when you're at that age, early ages in school, when you get diagnosed. Because a lot of boys, I find, get diagnosed because they're acting out and can't focus, and their grades might not be up there, so they get focused on. Do you know what I mean? Whereas girls at that age, even though they're experiencing this, may be able to kind of maturely channel their energy differently. Not better or worse, just differently, and not have the same response that males do to that scenario.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what they said. They said things like...
Like, I have a lot of girlfriends with ADHD. A lot, I say, like 2. But in terms of my friends that I know that have ADHD, it does present similarly to guys that I know with ADHD.
Yeah.
But they weren't... One of them, Sabrina, was diagnosed quite young. But Neve, for example, she was like way later, because she's just an outgoing person, and that can be a very like, if it's not affecting your studies and how you're acting, if you're still like a quote unquote good kid, then people don't, that's don't bother to get diagnosed.
That's mental health, period. This is one of the most like unknown things about psychiatrics, is your mental health and your mental well-being is based on how well you interact with society. So like a lot of the times people that are absolutely just off their rocker, but they function really well, and when I mean function well, they're really good at making money and running a business. So if you function, because like at the end of the day, sadly, the world we live in is one of money, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're able to support yourself via having a house and a car, and you can, I don't know, feed yourself and all that, you can just present with so many other signs that you're clearly not mentally well, but they're not going to do anything for you because they're like, well, they're taking care of themselves. Because like, again, like everything is on it. It's not a scale of 1 to 10 anymore. It's spectrum. So spectrum's like, a spectrum is like 3-dimensional. There's like length, width, and depth to like every single thing wherever you go on that spectrum, right? And so it's I don't know, it's a weird thing because I wasn't diagnosed with ADD, but like I've like my whole life I've kind of like, I feel like actually presented with it. And the reason I say actually is because I don't want to take away from people that also have felt like I do or have that same experience. But I do genuinely notice, as someone that's always kind of dealt with this, and like if you're sitting there right now being like, hey, yeah, I have ADHD too, or ADD, I don't know, the whatever one you have, the way to get rid of it, or like the best way to management, is like eat healthy, sleep, exercise, social, like be normal.
But you also can't go with a one size fits all approach. True. Because for some, what works for you doesn't necessarily work for other people. So what I'm trying to get at though is, if you are like, oh yeah, I find it really hard to focus and all this stuff, unless you're on like some level that it's super hard where they might have to like medicate you for it, you have to just do things that are good for you, and like you have to work at it. Yeah. And I find a lot of people now just will come up and be like, yeah, I have ADD, and I don't know, it sucks, and then they're just kind of saying it, and it makes me that makes me think like, do you actually have it, or is it kind of like induced from your environment? Because anyone I know that like, for example, me and Sabrina, you've been there where me and Sabrina sit there and we talk, and we're literally like, on the same page,
on the exact same page, right? And it's like, that's what ends up happening to people that do actually deal with it, versus some people. Again, it's like everything. Everyone just very loosely uses terms for everything now. You're a racist, you're a homophobe, all these things, and those ones are extreme, but they just get tossed around. I'm depressed, everywhere. I'm anxious, all this stuff, and you're like, it's so hard because you never want to tell someone to be like, shut the fuck up, because they actually could be, but to the same extent, they could just be a dramatic person. Yeah. 100%. And I think stuff gets thrown around far too frivolously at the moment. Like you said, like, your feelings are valid, and if you feel a certain way, nobody's going to tell you that you don't feel that way. But your mental well-being and your mental health state are two very different things. Like, there is a very big difference between feeling depressed and having depression, as like clinical depression. Absolutely. They're two completely different things. And everyone feels depressed.
Not everyone has
clinical depression.
Or a lot of people have felt depression. A lot of people have felt anxious in certain situations. You and I have had this discussion. We're both very outgoing people in a social setting, but whenever we go to a social setting, before we go, we're always like a little bit anxious. Absolutely. For no reason. But that doesn't mean that we have anxiety. Just like, you get anxious, you're about to be in a big group of people, like, it's a little bit like weird, so you get that anxious feeling. And I'd never experienced anxiety ever until, do you remember I set fire to my old apartment?
Yeah, I'm glad you admitted that.
Completely accidentally.
It wasn't her fault.
It wasn't. It was a dryer fire, but it was really scary. My dog was in in there, and it was not a fun experience for me. She was fine, but
she's a tough dog. After
that, I experienced anxiety for the first time as like anxiety, because I would be having, if I left my home, I would be having panic attacks thinking that I was gonna go home and my place was gonna be on fire and my dog was gonna be dead. And that's when I was like, oh, this is a completely separate thing to like feeling anxious. This is not the same thing. Absolutely. This is like, I can't breathe and I think I'm having a heart attack kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you've got to know the difference, because like, I don't think it really matters. Like, if you say you're anxious or you have anxiety, like, whatever, who cares? But you can't make that your whole personality at the same time. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think we'll wrap it on this, where this is a good pod. This is an hour and 10. That's a long ass pod. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just on the vein of what you were talking about there. If you're ever struggling with anything, I think you should go talk to someone.
100%.
Anyone. I guarantee you, if you need to talk to someone, you will. And even if you don't want to, a lot of the time, just talking to someone takes a lot of it away. And like anyone I know, you have good friends around you.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry.
Yeah.
But I want to leave on one thing, because I do plan very soon to do just a solo podcast and talk about fitness and kind of just get people jacked up to go do stuff, because I'm all about that. Go stop being fucking lazy, whatever you're doing. I don't mean just go to the gym. I mean, like, in general, like, if you're anxious about dumb little things like going to meet your friends or stuff like that, stop being anxious. Just go do it. Like, every single thing you're going to have some level of anxiety over. I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of stuff, and that's natural, that's normal, that's good. I actually, like, Kobe Bryant, literally, they've asked him so many times, like, do you get nervous before games? And he'd always be like, yeah, every time. And it's normal. It's like, it's part of the process. So I think it's actually important to be aware of that and like try and conquer that and be proud of yourself for it, because it's like, no one's gonna ever, if you're lucky, if you have people in your life that are like, yo, good job, you did that was awesome, no one's really gonna actually do that for you. So give yourself a pat on the back and be proud when you're like, fuck, I don't want to go do this thing I should do, and and you get there and you do it. Fucking be proud of that for yourself. And I hope everyone has a good weekend. Do you want to say anything before we go?
On that same note, I would just say the best thing that I would do is fake it till you make it. If you're not feeling like your best self, just act like you are, and acting like you are, it will come.
All right, cool.
And that's all I have to say on that.
That's another edition of Pancake Friday with Neve and Derek. We hope you enjoyed. Enjoy your weekend. We are going to be hopefully broadcasting from Elliot's bachelor party this weekend. We'll see what happens. The people have had a lot of issues with our mics. I can't imagine having 19 dudes in a house podcasting will be the best, but we'll see. Until then, anyhow, I hope you guys have a good weekend and get at it, have a good time, drink too much, party too much, and chill too much.
Love life. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.